OKN Senior qualifying Heat 1. And again, qualifying very, very interesting. Championship leader from Spain, Luna Flusha, who was dominant in Cremona in Italy after taking the 2 final wins. It all does help. Of course, the socials as well out there. You can keep an eye on all of that. Keep up to date with everything that's happened over this weekend. Whistle blows then, and the first qualifying heat of the day for the Senior OKN category makes its way out onto the circuit. Let's take you through the full starting lineup then for the 30-kart grid. It is Spain's Luna Flusha starting on the front row of the grid with Hugo Ron alongside. Marcos Shilkunis and Felipe Canes go from row 2. Jean Canes and Pip Casabene go from row 3. Wojciech Roda and Charles Lambert on row 4. George Nassar and Elia Latama go from row 5. They round out the top 10 ahead of Austin Gale and Ghazi Montlaco on row 6. Maximilian Rafalek and Romeo Nassar go from row 7 from Casper Bonda and Sofia Sanfari on row 8. Lachlan Hennock and Alessandro Biggie go from row 9 ahead of Brodie Norris and Isaac de Melwyk, an All-Australian, row 10 lockout. Elizaveta Kozlova and Charlotte Page go from row 11 from Adam Serur and Peyton Westcott on row 12. Prix Trevano and Daniel Perez go from row 13. Bernardo Benaldi and Anastasia Genesis go from row 14. Francis Exezelski and Truly Adams round out the 15-row grid, 30-kart grid in total, out onto the circuit. Well, everyone looks to be clocking up, which is good to see. All drivers out on circuit for their first qualifying heat of the weekend. Probably thinking, what are the tyre allocations for this weekend as well? That is an important question going into this one. Drivers get a full set for Saturday, a full set for Sunday. So basically it's the one set of tyres that they use for qualifying heats, and that final later on today as well. So they can push them quite hard, these tyres. They've got a bit of, well, not too much racing to get through compared to a standard race weekend where they might have 3 or maybe even 5 or 6 qualifying heats to get through, plus super heats and finals. It is purely the one set of tyres for Saturday and then one set of tyres for Sunday allocated to these drivers. So they've got plenty of rubber to use for this weekend. Vega supplying the tyres for the Championship of the Future Academy program. Again, plenty of support from many sponsors and manufacturers to really get this weekend underway. Of course, Kart Republic providing the chassis for the juniors and seniors. Paralin for the minis as well. TM Kart and Miami providing the engines also for the categories. Are we going, first time of asking? We are going racing now. Great start from the inside road. Great start from Flusha, but it's a better start from Marcos Shilkunis straight down the inside. Uses that momentum and the advantage of that inside gap opening up as they go through into the pinch point here. Hold your breath as they go through. There's a bit of jostling there. 2 karts off in the gravel from the mid-pack of the race there. I think they've got back on the circuit and going again, but they may have a heavy bit of damage there. Try and confirm who that was. I think it was Romeo Nassar and Casper Bonda, unfortunately, who were right smack bang in the middle of the field. So they were the biggest losers in the opening stage of that race. They'll tumble down the order. Race, though, continuing, and it is Marcos Shilkunis who leads the way then down the back straight. You can see there the gap already opening up here. Luna Flusha not able to get the power down in this early stage of the race, but we will find out what happens as these races are 11 laps. The end of lap 1 then, we go on to lap 2, and it is Shilkunis leading the way from Flusha. Head on, Jean Cares ahead of Felipe Cares. Then it's Wojciech Roda, George Nassar, Charles Lambert, the top 8 at the moment as they make their way again into the midway point of this lap. Who's the biggest mover at the start of this race? You've got to look down a little further in the order. Daniel Perez and Bernardo Benaldi have gained 6 places apiece. Truly Adams as well, 6 places. They have sided their way up through the field, so they have had a brilliant start. The rest of the field, though, in a close battle. There's Jean and Felipe Cares working together here. The 222 and the 223 trying to break away here and close in on Hugo Heron just ahead, who is in 3rd place. And on there, just holding on to that top 3. Only losing 1 position in this race, but still in a prime position, trying to close in on Luna Flusha. Flusha, though, with a little bit of breathing space. We'll keep an eye on the gap between Shilkunis and Flusha. It's 0.3 of a second at the moment as we go into this one. Luna Flusha, fastest lap of the race, though, is starting to close in. We go on board with Philippe Cadis from France, currently in P5, only down one spot. Fellow brother alongside and just ahead, Jean Caras in the treble 2. So again, the two brothers, I suspect here, we're probably going to be in a prime position to really work well together here. Try to push their way through the field. I suppose brotherly love, though, can come with consequences. They may feel like, no, I'm faster than you. Others do tend to squabble if they do get the opportunity to do so. Back through that final chicane, and Shilkunis still leading the way. Oh dear, yellow flags coming out, a lot of smoke coming out there. And where is that on circuit? That is out at turn 13 on track. Now, who has not come through? And I think that's Daniel Perez and Bernardo Bonaldi. Unfortunately, the two drivers who I was praising earlier on of gaining those positions have actually just become tangled with each other, and both of them now out of this race. So, big shame for Daniel Perez and Bernardo Bonaldi. The drivers out of this one on lap number 4. Well, race continuing. Marshall's brilliant job by them, clearing the incident on circuit as the rest of the field go through where that incident just was. Shilkunis still leading. Flusha there in second as Remy Massart sees a warning flag. Unfortunately, that does come with a non-disputable in-race 5-second time penalty. And we tumbled down the order at the end of this one. Flusha not able to close in just yet. Gap extending just that little bit more now, up to 0.4 of a second behind Marcus Shilkunis. These two were a common couple of names at Cremona. There's certainly been a common couple of names here at Valencia as well. Very wide there for Jean Caras, just dipping a wheel on that exit curb at the exit of turn 7. Very vital to get that one right as you're flat out through 8, 9, 10 into the braking zone of 11. Back here with that battle. This is 3rd, 4th and 5th. It looks like Hugo Doron is actually starting to break away here now a little bit from Jean and Philippe Cadis. Back on board with Philippe through that final chicane. Nicely done, clipping all those apexes. Very rough curves here, and you can see him tucking in that slipstream, trying to close in on his brother here. As you can see, the speed on the exit's good. The gearing, though, here with the OKN engine, not having the top speed here, it's hard to close those gaps right at the end. It's all got to be done under braking and on the exit of the corners. Right now you can see him closing in here is Philippe Cadis on his brother, but not able to get the position done. So he stays there, only down one place though at the moment in P5. They have all closed in a little bit here now. They've closed back into Hugo Doron. So Jean Caras and Philippe Cadis putting on the pressure once more. Marcos Shilkunis, though, your race leader, started this one on the 2nd row of the grid. Starting to break away. Bernardo Bonaldi under investigation. That'll be for the incident at turn 13 involving himself and Daniel Perez. So we'll have to see what happens at the end of that one. But Pip Casabene still having a good run in this one. P8. Big moves further down as well. He's dropped down a couple. Austin Gale up into the top 10, 2 places gained. Gazi Motlaka also 2 places gained, is in the top 10 as well. Adam Sador as well, 6 places gained. Brody Norris has gained 6 places as well, up to P13. Maximin Rafalik getting past Charles Lambert on that last lap, moved up into P11. Charlotte Page also 1 place gained. Still no change here. Doron leading this train, 3rd place downwards. Adam Jean Caras, Philippe Cadis, Wojciech Woda has closed in as well. Woda at 1 place is looking strong here. He's got the pace. He has closed in on these drivers. Certainly could pile on the pressure here now for these 3 as we go on to lap number 8. 7 laps completed. And still Shilkunis leading the way ahead of Flusha. Gap still maintaining itself at ½ a second as we keep an eye on this 3rd place battle. There's the gap, 3rd to 1st, 1.5. And again, that is still fluctuating as we go through. There's no defensive lines coming in from Hugo Doron just yet. He is aware that there is drivers behind. He will hear the engines, he will hear the noise, and surely he'll have checked just at these points here as it goes through the corner. A brief look behind. Certainly shows what could be happening in that stage. Back with the race lead. And Shilkunis still leading the way. The gap identical here. Flusha is matching the pace here of Marcus Shilkunis. And I think that's just a sign of what we're going to expect to see over the course of this one. Oh, well, there's an unwelcome sign for one driver who is currently in the top 10. Austin Gale seeing a warning flag. Unfortunately, that's a 5-second time penalty going Austin Gale's way. The driver from Thailand, who was really hoping for a strong weekend here. Started in the best way. That 5-second will tumble him down the order, unfortunately, in this race. Here, though, P4 and P5. Jean Carras and Philippe Carras pushing each other along here. Still no positions changed between these drivers. They have got Wojciech Woda closing in. Pip Casabani as well, just behind. George Nassar, Austin Gale, who's just seen a warning flag to his name, starts as well. He's a little further behind this battle. Not able to close in, though, at the moment. The pace is matched all the way throughout, which is good to see. Everyone, of course, on the same equipment here, so it really puts it down on performance from a driver, experience at the circuit. We're seeing that right now. Luna Flusha, this is a home circuit for her. She is chasing down Shilkunis at the moment for the race lead. Between the two of them, they are line astern here as they go through. But Flusha just struggling to keep in touch with Marcus Shilkunis here as we're on the penultimate lap of the race. A very calm and controlled race for Shilkunis here. No drama. Redemption, I think, from Cremona as well. Shilkunis, who was so strong in the qualifying, he's battling away with the likes of Flusha and the rest. But come that final, it was Shilkunis and Flusha starting alongside that front row for the first final of the weekend. Unfortunately, the two of them, racing incident between the two of them. Shilkunis speared off the circuit, unfortunately, involving a rather large-scale accident. Amazingly, though, he was unhurt, and he did race the next day, though. But still, redemption here this weekend, I'm sure, is coming towards Marcus Shilkunis as he breaks away at the front of this field now. The gap is 0.6 of a second. It has opened up. Charles Lambert has just received a warning flag as well, so that will not be well received for the Frenchman currently sitting in P15. But down the back straight we go. Only the final chicane to go then for Marcus Shilkunis. A nice, calm and controlled race for the Lithuanian as he exits. He'll take the first win of the weekend. One more qualifying heat to go as he lines up what I'm sure he's hoping to be a perfect weekend here. Luna Flusha, second in the race. Brilliant drive still for Flusha ahead of Hugo Heron. Jean Carras finishing in P4 ahead of Philippe Carras. Wojciech Woda finishing in 6th place. His first appearance in the championship here in Valencia. And he finishes within the top 10. Pip Casabene ahead of George Nassar. Austin Gale finishing in 9th with that 5-second time penalty. Well, that'll drop him a little further down in the field properly to about P16 out there for Austin Gale. Maximum Rafalik rounding out the top 10. But Marcus Shilkunis, average speed 92.4 kilometers per hour, takes the win in the first senior race of the weekend. It's Marcus Shilkunis ahead of Luna Flusha. Hugo Heron rounds out the top 3. Well, they'll make their way back to Parc Ferme. We'll go over the full classification at the end of that one. There is a short break at the end of this one. The next race coming up very soon, though. Back with the juniors. That is due to go out on track at 1 o'clock, so that's around 45 minutes time. There's a look at the top 10 then. We've gone over the top 10. It's Brodie Norris in his first appearance in the championship finishes in P11 after gaining 8 places. The Australian having a very strong run. Gazi Monica finishing in 12th place from Ella Ladomea finishing in 13th place. Lachlan Hennock finishing in 14th place after gaining 3 places.